Oh, I've got a camera filming. Hold on. Gosh, I could turn it. Here. Oh.
Good evening, everyone. I am Pastor Sarah McManus, and I welcome you to our church, Flame of Faith United Methodist Church, but mostly I welcome you to our Neurodiversity and Faith event.
Come on. There we go. Good joke.
As we turn to the night ahead, we have 3 speakers. And then after they have each spoken, they're going to have a kind of a Q&A. We'll bring some chairs up, let them sit and chill while you all ask them questions, or they ask each other questions as well. And so our speakers tonight are going to do far better at explaining and sharing their own truths about neurodiversity. And so I'm going to leave the storytelling to them and invite Hadlie Dahlseid forward. Did I say that right? Nope. Dahlseid, I apologize, to share her story.
There we go. Okay, so, there. Hey, we just appeared like at the same time. You were out.
Yeah. My computer's had to plug it in.
Oh, okay, great. It's great that we took that break then. And so, I had a very similar. I didn't have as many accommodations in college because I didn't have the diagnosis.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Hadlie. I'm 19 years old and I just finished tomorrow I just finished my first semester. Okay, so I almost finished my first semester of college. And so looking back on my life, I've realized I can pinpoint different parts where, that's where the autism was, or this is why I was like this. So that's kind of my life in 5 seconds, I guess. And so I think the best way I'm able to describe what my autism is like is I feel like I was dropped in another country and expected to know how to speak the language and act the culture, even though I didn't know how, and nobody knew I didn't know how. Everyone expected me to just be fine, but in reality I was dropped in the middle of nowhere and I had no idea what I was doing.
I do not get drained by people that much, or being around people. As far as I know, I don't get fed off of that either. I just know that I'm just around more. I was just describing earlier today that I'm a lot like Johnny Five from Short Circuit. Do you know that character, what I'm talking about? It's a comedy where this robot becomes self-aware, or alive, basically.
Yeah.
This robot becomes alive, and all he says pretty much throughout the entire movie is need input, need input.
Need input. Haven't had enough of this stuff.
And he just speed reads, and he's like, oh, okay, I get it now. I know how to dance.
More input, more input.
And so I'm very much kind of like that when I'm around a whole bunch of people, just kind of need input,
Yeah.
Wow!
Number 5 is alive.
Welcome to my planet. Why don't you come on in my house?
But where it was very similar for me was how I guess strange and new everything was.
Oh yeah.
How different everything was. Because I had been a certain way, and that's true for a lot of people. But it's kind of okay, this was not so much the arrangement, but these were the rules, right? These were the guidelines. This is where this was the routine, this was the pattern. There we go. This was the pattern, and now the pattern's changing. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, the change in pattern and routine was definitely a challenge.
Sometimes I find I have bigger reactions to things than afterwards I notice other people do. So I was sitting with my friends, one of my friends at lunch, and then she brought her other friends, and we were getting to know each other, and they were talking about a show that I really like. Goes, oh, I really love that show. And that's not how everybody else responded. They were just oh, I like that show. And so things like that are kind of have a difference with people.
Yeah, a little bit.
The dumpster's being Here we go. Now I got it filming the guy emptying the dumpster. I gotta do that,
Small entertaining moments in life.
Well, yes, and I think that's what we get that a lot of people don't.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's a bird. It's so pretty. And then you're all fascinated. And
Yes.
yeah.
It's not totally distraction because you're still doing something.
Yeah.
Do you hear the beeping?
Now I hear it. Yeah.
But it's just new,
Mhm.
I suppose you didn't anticipate it in the pattern,
Yeah.
in what had been going on. And so when it arrives, and I talk to some people in classes that I do teach, like emergent properties, you've got one property and you got another property, but when you put them together, something new happens
Yeah.
sometimes, and that's an emergent property. And so, yeah, in college, there were lots of those moments where it's kind of like, what am I supposed to be doing? I didn't even think to follow the group.
Hmm.
I would just I would walk in directions, kind of wander away from what was going on.
I now invite John David to come forward and to tell his story. And John
Hello. Hold it right here.
And like,
Hey.
gosh, I could probably just go without it.
Couldn't I? Like, is it about the same? Like,
Hey.
no, I'm getting people. Okay, I will. Gosh, I'm getting like chastised.
I know what I like and I know what I want to do, but that's not doesn't necessarily match with other people. So sometimes hanging out with other people and sometimes not. It was a lot of balancing, kind of figuring out, there's different groups of people I'll do small talk with, and then there's groups of people that I actually do want to hang out with longer time, or like watch a movie or something. And how do I navigate all the different types of relationships with people when everyone's new? And so it was a lot of change of routine, figuring out, what am I going to do here?
For me, I have a super strong sense of self, and I think part of that is because I have autism, and I never went through the whole change in high school thing. I was always myself, and I think that's because of my autism. Again, this is a new thing, so I'm not entirely sure. And as I mentioned, I think I see things more beautifully, than if I were not having the brain that I have.
There was more learning than just the academic piece.
Yes. And you do pretty well with academic learning?
Yeah, I've always been ahead of where my grade level would be, just because that's like the part of it, like the high IQ part with autism is part of it for me, as well as just I like learning, and so I like homework and I like doing stuff, and so it just comes naturally to me.
Yeah.
So the hardest part was the non-academic learning for me.
Yeah. And that's what college really is for too. You know, that exposure.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I hope those people aren't angry outside that I'm filming them into the things. I suppose I'd hear about it. Hey! Don't do that. What we had talked about before, and it's something that I'm just supposed to find very surprising, is people trying to utilize me as a gateway to meet other individuals on the spectrum. Have you been finding that out, or have you experienced that at all?
I haven't experienced that yet, partly because, this is new and I don't really, hi, I'm Hadlie, I'm on the spectrum, things like I don't really lead with that, so people don't necessarily notice as much, I think.
Yeah. I've just been asked to lead with it.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been asked to lead, I suppose, in general. I've been asked to do that by doctors and professionals and other leaders that said, like, hey, can you go talk about this here? Can you go talk about that there? Well, the vehicle left here. I'm going to turn the other camera I've got back at you.
I really ought to answer a question, and that question is why? Why? Why did God make me this way? Okay, and I imagine some of us ask that question of ourselves. And if you think about all the heroes, right, in the Old Testament, and you think about the New Testament, the Gospels, and what is the question that all of them ask? They say the same thing. Why? And the answer is that they're amazing. They were made to be amazing. They were made to amaze and be heroic. and do amazing things. They were made to be doers, and that's what we were made to be. Okay, those of us who are, sure, neurodivergent, those of us who are neuroatypical, those of us who are kooky and quirky, and I'm supposed to rhyme, and I'm resisting. I'm resisting rhyming right now. Oh, that's great.